Hello everybody, this is Brian O'Haron. This is the 10th program in Planning for Success. What I'm trying to achieve here is to try to show the people in the town how to manage the town like a business. And we've made some progress so far. We have a long way to go. So here we go with number 10. In the backdrop tonight, we of course have to think about Thanksgiving. The program will be on today at the time you're watching, 5 o'clock. I recorded a little bit earlier than that. And then it'll be repeated tomorrow night at 9 o'clock from 9 to 10, Tuesday night, the 20th of November. And then we will be switching to Friday night, beginning on November 30th at 8 p.m., which I think is probably the best time slot. That's why I chose that. So there are people here who were very cooperative. The chips fell the right way, and after this week, next Friday, we'll be on at from 8 to 9 p.m. for the 13 weeks. And hopefully afterwards, if we can arrange it with the station. I'd just like to talk a bit about Thanksgiving while I have this nice picture up back of me that I got from the internet. When I went to Kansas, there were a lot of Indians in Kansas, American Indians, mostly from all over the country. And the part of the reason for that was that in Lawrence, Kansas, where the university is, was a high school called Haskell. It was an Indian school, and Indians came from all over the country, mainly Oklahoma and out west type areas, but they came all over to be at Haskell. And one of the graduates of Haskell was the great Billy Mills. Now, when I was in Kansas, Billy Mills was the long-distance runner on the United States Championship, college championship track team, coached by Bill Easton. He went down to Haskell, he saw Billy Mills, and he picked him up, and Billy Mills ran for the Kansas track team. When I was there, I knew Billy. We weren't great friends, but we did know each other, and my wife was friends with his wife once he got married. Billy was Lakota Sioux Indian, grew up on a Sioux reservation in Oklahoma. And when I moved into an apartment out of the dorm, I knew Billy when I was in the dorm. When I moved out of the apartment to the apartment, I didn't see much of Billy anymore. And then when I was working down at Navy Tactical Defense System down in Glencoe, Georgia, Joyce and I were living down there for a while, he was involved with the Marine Corps, and they had Wes Santee was down there, and he was also from Kansas, and he pointed out to the Marines that they had a great runner in their midst, because Billy had joined the Marine Corps in the early 60s. And they picked up on Billy, and he continued to train. And when we were in Phoenix, Arizona, working at the Air Force Defense System, we saw on TV where Billy won the 10,000 meters in the Olympic Games. I think it was in Japan. So anyway, I'm very proud of that. There's a movie called Running Brave where you can see that. Now, when I was at Kansas, Billy couldn't get into a fraternity because he was Indian, and that was to my advantage because he couldn't get into the fraternity. He got into the dorm, and we got to know each other, and he was a very positive influence, very, very good decision type person, and trained very, very hard. So I really respect the Indians, the American Indians. We learned a lot from them. When I first went to England, I said, hey, I'd like to have some corn at a restaurant. They said, we don't eat corn in England. That's for the cows. We feed that to the cattle. And I said, well, we learned to eat corn from the American Indians in the East Coast of the United States, and we kind of like corn. I think today they eat more corn over there for one reason or another, but I always thought that was an interesting story. So we learned a lot from the American Indians. They were a great part of our heritage, and obviously the settlers and the Indians in the earlier days, at least, got along well together, and they sat down at a dinner table. So it kind of goes with what I'm trying to achieve here in Winsted, is getting everybody to sit down and talk to each other and work together and try to make this for success. So everybody, we got our house full on Thanksgiving. I'm sure you do too. Let's have a happy Thanksgiving, and then we'll be back on next week.